Well, good afternoon. We're very pleased to have Rafael Nadal. English questions first, and who will start us off?
Hello. Rafa, in the 10 years since you beat Roger here, how are you the same and how are you different, do you think, today than you were then?
Older, more kilometers under my legs. General terms, important things in life didn't change much. That's a real thing. And in terms of tennis player, of course, I had to adapt a little bit my game during that period of time, but the ADN is probably very similar.
What was the biggest adaptation? You said you had to adapt. What's been the biggest thing you had to adapt?
Well, I think my position on court, I don't say in grass because grass is a surface that we play. For me personally, I play only normally 1 or 2 tournaments per year, but in the rest of the surfaces, of course, the position on court changed a little bit. But yeah, the way that I read tennis probably is a little bit different today than 10 years ago.
Second year in a row that you pulled out of Queens, and so you don't have a warm-up tournament coming into Wimbledon. How are you feeling about your preparations for this tournament?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I, of course, excited to be here in Wimbledon again. Is a very special event, of course. I always love it to be around here. For me, have been always a special thing. And yeah, it was not positive for me, of course, to not play Queens. I was sad to don't have the chance to be there. But in the other hand, I didn't go there because I played a lot on clay, so I was very happy. That's how it works. I am not 20 anymore. I had to take decisions on the schedule sometimes, and I decided to don't play Queens because after a long clay court season, the body needed a rest and needed a slow adaptation, adapt to the grass, and that's what I did.
Speaking of schedules, Rafa, some players have been announced this week for the Laver Cup. I don't know if you've been asked before, but what's your position with Laver Cup this year?
Difficult for me to say. Being honest, I loved the competition, and I had a lot of fun. It's a great event. I really enjoyed and played with a lot of passion. But this year I have the semi-finals of Davis Cup the week before, so difficult for me to say now if I am or I am not. I am just focused on trying to do my thing, remain months, and then I will see. But still a long way for me to think about it. I don't know how the thing's gonna go in terms of matches, in terms of results, and I have an important tie in the semi-finals in France the week before. So, of course, it's not the ideal, but I will not say no today because remain a lot.
Rafa, I watched last week. You played a little bit to practice on grass in Mallorca in the mornings. Does it help now that Mallorca has such good grass courts?
I think it's good that in Mallorca we have a professional event. It's good for our island. Of course, personally, I benefit from that I had the chance to practice there that week. But is the most important thing. I don't see like a personal thing. I see like having a tournament in our island is a great promotion for our island, and I'm very happy for this. And well done to the organization. I think there is more and more people coming to the event, and that's a good thing.
Going back to the 2008 final 10 years ago, if you could just reflect on how you felt at the time and what it meant to you at the time, and then now 10 years on, what it means to you looking back on it today.
I am not thinking every day about that final. I am just focused on what I am doing today. But of course, in that moment, that final had been a very important step forward for me in my career. I always have been very clear that probably it's one of the most emotional matches that I played in my career. And yeah, everybody knows that for me, one win here was one of my dreams. And after losing to finals, that final created a big impact in my tennis career, and personally, the personal satisfaction that tournament gave to me is difficult to compare with other things. But yes, yeah, have been great. Today I see that like a long time ago, but the good thing is I'm still here, and I'm happy for that.
You've reached the quarterfinals here at Wimbledon. You've gone on to reach the final. Would you say that's a little bit?
Glad to be there.
Would you say that's a little bit to do with the conditions in the second week, the footing of the courts being more and more? Do you prefer it better playing in those conditions?
It's obvious that the movements are a little bit easier later because there is not that much grass behind. For me, the one of the most difficult things here is, of course, the speed of the court, and the way that you have to play is different, but the movements are different. No? And then later on the tournament, it's true that the movements are a little bit easier because there is a lot of clay behind the court, so you can move a little bit more free. I don't know. But I think the grass on Wimbledon here this year, I see the grass a little bit longer than usual. I don't know if because there is unbelievable weather and they are trying to protect the grass like this, but that's it. No, I know to be there I have to play very well on the conditions at the beginning of the tournament, because here there is no one easy match. All the matches are difficult, and I need to be ready from the beginning. I'm looking forward to have the best preparation possible the next 2 days that I still have, and just be ready.
Someone over there.
Rafa, you approach Wimbledon because you don't play too many tournaments on grass differently than other tournaments? Have different expectations, or is it always the same?
No, expectations are always high. I am not here to play the tournament. I am here to try to have a good result, of course. But it's true that in the other hand is one of these events that you arrive here and you really don't have a previous feeling of how you feel, how you are playing, how you are not playing, because but it's nothing new, because even when I won here, or when I played finals here, I played 5 in a row, I think. So I played, yes, 1 year I won in Queens, so I played 5 matches, but the other years the maximum that I played was 3 matches on Queens. So even with 3 matches, you arrive here and you really don't know very well. So it's an event that you need to find your confidence during the tournament and during the practice, the week before of practice. But for example, when I arrive to Roland Garros, I know more or less if I am playing well or if I am not playing well. So I know where my chances are more or less. Or in the US Open, a little bit less, but still knowing better than here.
Last English question and a quick one, please.
You said that you think more about scheduling now that you're older. You've had injuries for a long time, since you were younger. At what point in your career did you start thinking, did it become more important to you, scheduling and being smart about where you play and where you don't play?
Nothing new for me. I am doing this since a while. You can check my schedules during the last years. I get injured, it's true, but not because I am doing crazy things. I am not changing surfaces like this. I am not doing. I am not playing 23, 24 events per year. So that's the real thing. I am taking care of my body, but you cannot predict the injuries, and of course that I have been. I don't know if it's unlucky or not, but I get injured more than the others, especially my rivals. And that's it. Just accept and keep going, and try to do the things the better way possible to be less times injured. But is something that you cannot control. You know, it's just part of my tennis career too.
Thank you. Sorry, we must change language.
Thank you very much.
Una pregunta tonta y que encima además la has contestado en parte, ¿no? Yo estaba intentando calcular el efecto que tiene positivo en general el buen tiempo, ¿no? Que te puede favorecer más que a otros jugadores. Entonces, lo que no encuentro clara es la explicación de cómo te beneficia en lo que has descrito como facilidad de movimiento atrás. Pensaba que igual con la hierba te puedes deslizar mejor.
No, con la hierba no te deslizas, con la hierba no tienes apoyo, es decir, nosotros jugamos con unos tacos muy pequeñitos, porque son las reglas, y el agarre es relativamente poco, ¿no? Con lo cual cuando la hierba está mucho más desgastada ya, pues la parte de atrás se convierte en más tierra, ¿no? Y al final el tenis, como en muchos deportes de pelota, pues el apoyo es vital, ¿no? La estabilidad en tu cuerpo es vital, y coger la fuerza la coges desde las piernas, desde un buen apoyo. O sea que cuando la hierba está desgastada es más fácil tener ese apoyo, porque apoyas con mucha más fuerza sin miedo a resbalarte. Y ahora mismo con la pista, ¿no? Tú cuando llegas a las pelotas tienes que llegar con más precaución, no puedes llegar con una fuerza, es decir, tienes que llegar con pasitos más cortos, porque si no se te puede ir la pierna, porque te puedes resbalar. Cuando la pista está desgastada y juegas en tierra, el agarre de la pista es mucho más alto, con lo cual puedes llegar con más fuerza y con menos miedo.
El deslizamiento no entra en cuestión, entonces, porque en tierra batida el deslizamiento es importantísimo, ¿no?
Sí, pero es que son superficies diferentes, aquí no se desliza.
En ninguno de los dos casos, ni con tierra...
No. Bueno, lo puedes hacer en un momento dado, pero es muy peligroso. No.
Hola Rafa, no sé, este año cómo ha llegado tu cuerpo a la hierba, cómo has sentido esta semana en Hurlingham tu juego, tu cuerpo, si estás más descansado respecto al año pasado al no haber jugado tantos torneos al principio de temporada, ¿cómo te encuentras?
Bien, estoy contento de estar aquí, ¿no? Al final, pues no lo sé, las cosas se van a ir viendo así como va evolucionando los días, y bien, de momento me siento bien, creo que estoy entrenando más o menos bien. Cada día para mí es una prueba también de intentar hacer las cosas cada día un poco mejor. Este es el objetivo, para intentar llegar al comienzo lo mejor posible, ¿no? Y aún así soy consciente que tendré que ir mejorando día a día si quiero tener opciones de hacer algo. Pero bueno, ahora mismo tengo una primera ronda complicada contra Sela, que es lo que me ocupa, y lo que me ocupa también es el entrenamiento de mañana y del lunes, y intentar coger la sensación buena para llegar bien a ese primer partido. Creo que he ido dando pasos adelante durante la semana, cada día me siento un poquito mejor, y bueno, intentar seguir con esta línea. Mira.
Te han preguntado mucho sobre la final de 2008. ¿Cómo sería volver a encontrarse con Federer en Wimbledon? ¿Qué significaría para ti?
O sea, lo que significaría, lo primero es que estoy en una final de Wimbledon después de 7 años. O sea que eso es lo primero. Y ahora mismo se me hace imposible pensar eso, ¿no? Yo, como te digo, no vengo aquí con una preparación realmente escasa. No quiero decir que no sea buena, pero sí corta. Y yo tengo que pensar en lo que tengo que pensar, que es en mi día a día. Yo no puedo estar pensando en Federer, que está justamente en la otra parte del cuadro, ¿no? Yo intento hacer mi camino y ojalá pudiera encontrarme con él.
Last two questions. One more.
Todos los partidos, partido a partido y día a día, pero en la visión del cuadro, los expertos de aquí, por lo menos, no ven esos monstruos que pueden amargarte la jornada en Wimbledon, ¿no? ¿Cómo ves el cuadro en general?
Bueno, el cuadro es el que es, y el cuadro, como siempre, es un poco impredecible. Así como en tierra te puedo dar una opinión más o menos más clara de lo que es el cuadro, que no te la daría, por respeto a mis rivales lo primero, y por respeto a mí mismo también, y al deporte en sí. Pero siendo honesto, aquí el cuadro se me hace mucho más difícil de predecir, porque son partidos muy igualados, partidos muy difíciles y en mi parte del cuadro sí que hay jugadores que están jugando bien y basta ver en mi zona del cuadro que hay jugadores que han hecho muy buenos resultados o que están haciendo muy buenos resultados esta semana, ¿no? Y no en una parte muy lejana, sino en una parte muy cercana.
Last one.
Rafa, has mencionado el cruce de Copa Davis con Francia. ¿Es una prioridad para ti de cara a la parte final de la temporada, la Copa Davis?
Ahora mismo mi máxima prioridad es Wimbledon y después será la gira americana y después será el US Open y después, evidentemente, la Copa Davis. Ya lo dije, no hace falta que lo vuelva a repetir, que para mí es un buen objetivo. Me apetece jugar esas semifinales y voy a intentar hacer lo posible para llegar de la mejor manera posible. Después, lo que pueda pasar, no te lo puedo decir. Faltan meses por delante y las cosas a nivel físico no se pueden predecir, pero sí que para mí es un buen objetivo.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.